All right, Sky Squad, we are back in the building, and so is Quad. Chime down in the chatterization if you felt like having Quad back was a good thing or a bad thing. I'm interested. I cannot wait to slide on into the chat to see what y'all got to say about this. Were you excited that Quad was back? I actually wish that I did not know she was coming back beforehand. I think, that's kind of where, sometimes knowing the tea ahead of time is not always the best thing, but here we are nonetheless. I was happy she was back. Um, but I think, again, in light of the reunion and some of the clips that were played with them talking about how she basically said she was there for the check, it does give a little bit more context to maybe why the ladies feel a certain type of way, while production or the network might feel some type of way. And she does need to make that right if there's something that she said. We talked about it when we reviewed the reunion clip that came out, and I saw a couple of people say in the comments, "Well, my boss know I don't want to go to work. Most of us don't want to go to are only there for the check. My boss know we only here for the check." But it's still something about you still at least trying to, like, if you're working for me and you say to me that you are only here for the check, chances are I'm probably gonna fire you. That's just what it is, because I need people that really want to be there. And I know that a lot of companies feel like that, because it's kind of like, yeah, granted, we know everybody got to work because the rent is due, and that's probably the large reason why you're there. But it's something about vocalizing it that's just a tad bit disrespectful. And you can say what you want, but at the end of the day, no boss, no manager, especially no company owner wants to hear employees running around saying, "Well, I don't really want to be here anyway. I'm just here to collect a check." Because guess what? It's tons of people out there looking for jobs. And at a certain level, if you ain't got no gratitude about where you are, then, I mean, number one, how do you expect to get more out of the universe? How do you expect God to bless you with more if you're not even thankful for what you got now? But that's a conversation that a lot of y'all not willing to have or not ready to have. Okay. Okay. So anyway, Quad is back. But before we get there, we got to talk about, my goodness, how could I forget? We got to rate the episode. And we are back in the fabulous Hilton head. God, it feels good to be back. So anyway, let's talk about what would I rate this episode? I literally just watched it. I would rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. I think I might rate this episode like an 8.5, 8.9. It's a finale. So I'm gonna be generous and give it like an 8.9 to like maybe a 9. The quad of it all was interesting, and there was actually more drama than what I was anticipating with this whole Toya not wanting to pay. At first, I'm not going to even hold y'all. I was kind of like, is this just drama that's being trumped up for the finale? Because they ain't really had nothing else to really get into. But with the way that Dr. Eugene reacted and had pulled on, yanked on Dr. D, I was like, oh, this was something real. Okay, she really felt the type of way about it. So I say, okay, let's go. Let's go. We got some meat and potatoes to talk about, right? Before we get there, though, we are back in the uber fabulous lives of the rich and famous, down to the Hilton head. Yes, thank the Lord. Thank the good Lord we're back. Anyway, the ladies are hanging out. It's Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Simone, all the doctors' wives, all the doctors, the lady doctors in the building are talking to Dr. Alicia about, girl, where did this $150,000 go? Is it just me, or is it that I'm not really interested? I feel like with Dr. Alicia, I felt like because she was underutilized so much in the beginning, I felt like to try to stuff so much into the end of the season with her, I'm just not really that interested now. I don't know. It feel like maybe that the magic is gone. I like her. I mean, I feel like she's interesting, and maybe if given the opportunity. But again, the problem with Married to Medicine is, and I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, it has been historically a problem on this show for new cast members to last. And I don't know why that is. The audience can fall in love with somebody, but they don't be back. They don't be back. No, sorry. So I don't even know if Dr. Alicia will be back. I mean, Lord knows it's a sad thing that the woman moved all the way down there. I hope it won't just to be on that show. Cause wee. So that's also what's also interesting about where we are in real time with Sweet Tea. Finally, y'all got a cast member on there who is polarizing in her somewhat naivete. And now again, it seemed like half the cast don't even want her there. Okay. So we run into the same issue and you bring in a new character, hyped up the new character. Now, key members of the cast don't even want her there no more. So I don't know what the next season will shake out to be. I mean, it's so easy when I look at this group now in a greater context. It seems like it's just the people are disposable unless your name is Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, and Toya. That's the reality of it. Everybody else is disposable. Oh, and the marriages. Okay. And Phaedra, she could be disposable depending on the paycheck. So that's a little bit of a problem. It's a little bit of a problem. But that ain't for me to worry about. That's for production to worry about. So here we go. So anyway, this $150,000 that Dr. Alicia don't know where it went to. Yeah, girl, I'm gonna need to take over the finances too if you don't know where the money went. Like, if you had told me that you had just put that money aside into a bank account and you didn't want to let him know that, which it could be the case because if she tell them, he gonna know because it's on TV. But if you just girl, you just don't know what $150,000 went, then yeah, I'm gonna take over too. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna have to take over Spirit and I'm gonna take over your bank. And so Dr. Dr. Heavenly feels like Dr. Alicia kept that money for herself, but it ain't giving that. It's giving I don't know where the money at. Anyway, Dr. Heavenly gives her some advice about, fabricating certain elements and things in the relationship just to make things easier. Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie are in agreement about her having her own account. I agree with that too. Like, I think you can have a joint account, and I think you can have your own account so you can spend your money how you want to spend it. I firmly believe that just because you are married does not mean that you are still not your own individual person. But I do feel like you are two individuals who have now combined as one. And now that combined team has to take precedent over just the needs or the individual sort of like, you're not taking individual paths. You have chosen to walk down this path with your partner. So there is compromise. That's what I'm trying to say. But that still doesn't detract from you're still your own person and you still have your own things that you want to fulfill in your life. And so when you want to go spending some money, you should be able to do that out of your own account. I firmly believe that. Unless you losing $150,000, in which case you might need management. So anyway, they do coach her on, girl, you ain't got to do all the cooking. Why don't you go get some food, hire somebody to come over and fix the food and act like you made it? I'm all for that. Whatever is going to make life easier for the household, I don't care, do it. I don't care how things get done. I'm not really, I'm not about the roles or nothing like that. Did it get done? Did we need to hire somebody to do it? Fine. Okay, whatever is, because time is more valuable than money. At least mine is. That's how I look at it. So if I got to pay for these meals to come to the house every week, I'm going to do that. What? Okay. If I got to pay to get somebody to do the laundry, I'm going to start doing that too. Because who got time to be sitting around doing menial tasks when I could be doing things that are meant for the bigger picture? Okay. Anyway, it's time for the disco dinner. Everybody, including Sweet Tea, are questioning whether her tatas are going to stay up in that dress. And she eventually changes clothes. I'm like, well, why, girl? Phaedra down there half naked. So anyway, and it's interesting that Phaedra can come out with this short dress on. And ain't nobody in the group oddly worried about this single sexy woman in the group. But they sure was worried about Quad being single and sexy and free in the group. Anyway, I guess it just goes to show how much they dislike that woman. So anyway, they get down to dinner. And Dr. Simone celebrates the past 10 years of highs and lows, and it is a nice little retrospective. Could have been nicer if they was out of the country. But anyway, Dr. Jackie says the trip has allowed her and Curtis to put closure on their situation and test the integrity of their healing process. I did think that that was good because, you know, it it would do you no good to feel like, oh, we beyond this situation, it's behind us, if you can't even go back to the place where he was. I mean, that's technically the scene of the crime, because really, for real, it ain't the location, it was the action. I'm saying the action, not the person, because listen, at the end of the day, once she chose to forgive him, like, you got to let that thing go. Life is too short to be harping on things that happened in the past because you can't change it. The only thing you could do now is do better in the future and commit that you are going to just move forward. That's the smartest and the healthiest route. All right. So, Dr. G is thankful. Dr. G, oh my God, he's just so glad to be back in the circle. Oh my goodness, yes, God. And thank you all for embracing Sweet Tea. And I'm like, have they? I mean, mm. Anyway, Phaedra feels like this group really rallies for marriage and men's relationships. And, she feels like some groups, Potomac, and maybe even those Atlanta ladies, don't really celebrate marriage. And she feels like this group does. And perhaps maybe if she was with this group and instead of the other group, then she might have been stayed married. Now, that probably won't the best thing for you. I mean, because now he's with another woman. But at the end of the day, I understood what she was saying, and I do feel like she is correct. I actually felt real crazy. And I told y'all this, if you watch my Potomac review, I was watching some clips this morning when I got up out of the bed. And I was like, I saw some clips of Potomac, then I watched that specific clip online for Married to Medicine. And it almost brought a tear to my eye because it really made me think about, like, a lot of this reality TV space becomes really, really toxic at times, right? And it's really sometimes a fight for me, because I have to talk about some of the toxicity, not to let it impact me. And that's really a difficult, it's becoming more and more difficult. So it really begs the question, like, where am I in my own personal growth and how I relate to these shows and how I feel like I want to talk about these shows. So it was interesting to see that moment because I realized that at this point in my life, I am really at a point where I am more suited for positivity than I am anything negative. I mean, I try to talk about the toxicity as positively as I possibly can. But even then, it still gets into your psyche just a little bit. So to see that there is at least this moment where the people on this show at least fight for the marriages and want to fight through the hard times, that to me is worth its weight in gold. And I feel like I understand where Phaedra was coming from. And it is a show to me that I feel like would be a safer, easier route for Phaedra at moving forward than it would be for her to go back to Housewives, where she doesn't know if that environment has changed at all. But again, I think Phaedra is more concerned with the coin because she ain't in no relationship. So it don't really matter at this point. And I feel like Phaedra is at a point in time in her space where she's more about entertaining and being entertaining on reality TV than getting into the muck and the mire and doing the dirty work that, may have happened with her before. We don't really know because it's very unclear on how that whole situation went down. But it does seem like she has learned some very valuable lessons from and distancing herself from the type of drama that would possibly make for good TV, but it definitely won't soothe and comfort her spirit at night. So anyway, Dr. Simone wants to know who has ever, said the D word to their spouse, like the word divorce. And apparently just about everybody raises their hand. Not everybody, but some people. Dr. Alicia reveals, her experience. Toya reveals her frustrations with Dr. Eugene. But apparently Dr. Eugene feels like he was being lazy in his marriage. Now, I don't know if that is him being gaslit into feeling like that or if he really feels like that, right? Because, I mean, if the man is working 12 to 16-hour days, what really is lazy? Now, that is not to detract from the things that Toya is saying because, I understand that she, even though she is at home, there still has to be some level of effort on his behalf. So I do get that. But again, is that really his experience or is he just really basically acquiescing to the needs of his wife, which is not wrong. It just is what it is. But I'm just asking the question because it seemed like it was really beat down in him how unhappy she was. But it seemed to me like he was working to get them out of debt for so long. So I don't really know. Y'all let me know in the chatterization. Dr. Heavenly reveals that oddly, Dr. Kima and Dr. Alicia's relationship has had the most impact on her because she feels like they are the most similar, even though Dr. Damon is just not as vocal as Dr. Kima. And I'm guessing maybe she's talking about maybe the gender roles and beliefs. I really don't know because I guess Dr. Heavenly really does spend a lot of time sort of incubating Dr. Damon and separating him from the drama. And she's really protective of that, which is probably the smartest route to go for her marriage. And I think that she stirs the pot enough on the show so that she doesn't really have to go there with her own marriage. So, I mean, I don't know. So it's hard to really, for me as an audience member, be able to really see that parallel. But if she says so, I believe it. Then it's time for everybody to hit the dance floor. Then it's back to Atlanta, and Phaedra is meeting up with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie to discuss the Med Gala, right? I guess they've been all doing this planning behind the scenes. I really wish that they could have put a little bit of these nuggets, left a trail for us before all of this, before this episode, because I really do feel like it would have benefited from the storytelling to have dropped some nuggets along the way as to the buildup of this. But here we are nonetheless. We only got 14 episodes, so what we gonna do? Truth be told, Potomac and some of these other shows need to go down to drop down to 14. I think is it Jersey that only gets 12? I don't know, but listen, I just kind of feel like abandon ship on Potomac, cut them episodes down, and we don't even need the reunion. To be quite honest with you, I don't really care to see it. I don't care to rehash it. It's just gonna be the same old, same old, same old, same old, and we don't really need to see that. So go ahead and cut the reunion, cut the episodes down, wrap it up in about 2 episodes, and I think we'll be good. Y'all make some casting decisions, and then come back and see us in 2025. So anyway, here's the bottom line with the Med Gala, because Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, and Phaedra are talking in the office. Meanwhile, Dr. Simone and Dr. Eugene and Toya and Cecil are all meeting at Dr. Simone's house to discuss the Met Gala. Now, the issue for Toya is she is going to be, donating about $1,400 worth of wine. Now, they were asking each person to sponsor at least $1,000. Toya feels like because she's donating $1,400 worth of wine, that she shouldn't have to pay the $1,000 to help out with the thing. Now, if it was just me, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know. If I'm in the group and I want to contribute, I'm just gonna go ahead and get $1,000 and call it a day. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I just kind of feel like that's just probably the right thing to do. I'm not trying to count her coins or nothing like that, but it just seemed like the right thing to me. Because Phaedra, on the other hand, is like, listen, I'm donating probably more in champagne than she's donating in wine, and I'm paying the $1,000 sponsorship fee because I can, because I'm a boss, and that's just the end of the day. And I'm like, that's how you do it, Phaedra. That's how you do it. And I think I have this state of mind because I'm so used to, like, I am a giver when it comes to like my friends and people's events and things like that that I want to support. I will take every route in the world that I can to pay someone if I'm trying to ask for some advice. I I was just having this conversation with one of my friends. I hate asking people for anything because I have had experiences where I have received help before and it has been brought back up or brought up to other people and it has gotten back to me. And the person involved has no idea, that it's really gotten back to me, or the person involved has said something to me that lets me know, oh, you still holding on to this. I'm the type of person, like, I'm trying to help everybody around me, right? If I know something, you gonna know it too, because that's just how I roll, right? Now, if I have a service where I'm offering that, yeah, then you pay for that. But otherwise, I try to help as many people as I possibly can, especially people that I know. But when it comes to me, I ain't really trying to ask nobody for nothing. So that's why I'm so willing to give and support and pay, right? So I don't really understand Toya's rationale. It just don't resonate with me, but maybe it resonates with you. And if it does, let me know in the chatterization down below. But I just don't see it because that's not who I am. I'm the type. you know what? I'm not going to even say that because I don't want it to come across in a negative way. But let's just say I will do for my friends, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'll leave it right there. Also because you know what? When I was in LA and I was really, really struggling, I had certain key people in my life that I did trust that helped me so much, and they never threw it back in my face. And some of those people I was also able to help when they had situations. So I feel like some people it works, and you just got to know which friends like that, you can have that sort of relationship with. So in this instance, that's why I feel how I feel. Like, yo, Toya, just give them that $1,000 because clearly you got it if you're spending $1,700 on $17,000 on purses. Okay. Um, it probably costs that same amount of money that you're paying. I guarantee you that country club that you playing tennis at, you probably got to pay a good membership fee there. I wonder how much that is. Anyway, again, I'm not counting people pockets. Dr. Heavenly is supremely annoyed by this because even Dr. Jack is a little annoyed. And Simone tries a little bit to tell Toya, like, yo, I think you should still donate. And Dr. Heavenly is like, I don't even feel like her name should be on the step and repeat, because if you're not donating as a sponsor monetarily, we need that money to really help, throw this event. So Toya is like, well, I'll bring my own step and repeat. I'm gonna group them all. Okay. Anyway, oh, the other thing that Toya says to justify this is she's like, I took these girls to Napa. I got them all splendid accommodations, and I took them all to the winery. First of all, let me just say this. You taking these girls to the winery and showing and excuse me, at least no, let me start at the beginning. You didn't take these girls on this trip. Did it come out your paycheck? Did you buy their flights? Did you pay for their accommodations? Probably not. Probably not. Now, did you maybe did some now, unless I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Her business could, or the business that she works with could have contributed something. So I'm not gonna say that. Let me not say that because I don't really know, because I did hear in some specific situations there could be a situation where the person is asked to contribute, but I don't know about that. So until I find out, I don't know. That just kind of felt a little bit like I would need for somebody to really answer that question, because typically production pays for those trips. Point blank, period. We know this. All right. We're not new to this. You know what I'm saying? So that was a little interesting to me. I'd be interested in knowing what the real tea with that was. And if that was maybe the reason why she felt so justified in that. But hearing it as a person who understands how production works, it would be interesting to know what the breakdown of that Napa trip was in terms of the contributions from Toya, her business, and her business partners. As Mariah says, kitsch. The Mariah lives on in this show through me. Anyway, the day of the Med Gala, Anila is riding with Toya. Shocker that Anila is now so chummy with Toya and cannot stand that old mean and hateful gutter snipe Quad. Oh God, no. That's what she was given, for Quad. And I'm like, girl, I'm sure Quad cares. Anyway, because I don't. So anyway, Toya does indeed have her own poster. Dr. Heavenly is running around telling people not to get any of Toya's wine because she didn't want to pay. Why does Simone look better here than she does at the reunion? Simone looks amazing here. Like that dress, I felt like was that I felt like now this dress was the cat's me out. You should have took this dress and wore it to the reunion, and you should have saved that church lady dress for Easter Sunday and the church lady hairstyle. Okay, now now Simone, sometimes you can pull it together. So I need you to just get consistent with it, and I think we'd be right on the money, baby. We'd be right on that good money. Ain't no need in being a black doctor and looking as good and youthful as you do to be showing up to places dressed like an old lady in a dress, a 5-year-old in the hair. Anyway, It did. It looked like she had on, y'all know them barrettes the little girls wear with the big balls, the big crystal balls or whatever they be, and they be tying them around. That's what it looked like. The hairstyle looked like she had in that reunion. Anyway, our digression. Okay. Um. Oh, Curtis is back in the DR working, y'all. Where he be working on the chain. I mean, he is rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. I left a good job in the city. Headed to the DR every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep. Worried about Dr. Jackie in that bed. Anyway. Curtis is back in the DR working. Yes, y'all. I love a good working son of a bee. Anyway, Toya tells Dr. Jackie, Simone, and Anila that they ran out of wine glasses because everybody at the gala is drinking her wine. Yes. Anyway, apparently some lady told Toya and her people to take the sign down, so she put it back up. I bet that was Dr. Heaven. And so Dr. Jackie lets them know that she's like, well, you donated wine, but we needed money too. And Toya was like, yeah, you right. You know what? The thing I like about Toya is that girl got some balls on her, man. That girl got some cojones on her. She did say she had big D energy, and you got the big old D. Oh yeah, I mean it could stand for Detroit. I don't know, but there's some D going on here. There's some D going on somewhere, and you got it. Okay, Miss Toya, she got it. She got it. Anyway, Phaedra, who comes in late and comes in with her escortation, and why on the floor on her star did it say Dr. Phaedra? Is she an honorary doctor? Y'all know, listen, I'm about to get me an honorary doctor. I've been searching the interwebs, and let me tell you something. The fastest way I can find it, I'm gonna be called a doctor too. And everybody, you can call me doctor. Yes, you will. I don't care if I got to pay for it. I don't care if I got to give the speeches for it, what I got to do. That is on my wish list for 2024 for me to get that title of doctor. And I don't care how I obtain it, and I don't care what you think about it. Anyway, so that's right, Dr. Phaedra. Meanwhile, it's time to make the toast and the speech. And, as Dr. Heavenly is thanking the sponsor, she thanks Dr. Jackie and, and the beautiful Simone. And Toya's like, it's Dr. Wendy. I mean, she says, it's Dr. Simone. And at that point in time, Dr. Heavenly says, you know what, Toya, where's Toya? She didn't sponsor y'all. She didn't give anything. And the crowd is like, boo, hiss, 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 hiss. Get her out of here. Her and her big D, Anyway, Toya says out loud, I sponsored the wine, y'all. I sponsored the wine. And so Dr. Eugene getting real mad, embarrassing my wife. So he get to grabbing at Dr. Damon. Dr. Damon like, don't do that to me. I don't know. You don't know me like that. We just on this show together. I feel like, listen, these men be coming for Dr. Damon, as we saw in that reunion trailer. And Dr. Damon, don't be taking that mess. No. Don't you put your hands on me. Put your hands on me one more time. See what happened. And Dr. Eugene was like, I'm sorry, master. I mean, I'm just saying, she embarrassed my wife. I'm sorry, master. He get to tap dancing, and Punani popping a little bit. I'm just trying to let you know your wife embarrassed my wife, and I would like her to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm gonna back up. You better back up. So he back up in a hug, man. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let you know how I'm sorry. So anyway, that happened. Okay, so finally, Anila tells Sweet Tea that she told Dr. G that she don't know how she was friends with Quad. Girl, stop trying to make fetch happen. You is gone, okay? We send you love and light, but and God bless you on your journey. But I mean, listen, it's done, okay? You're gone. Like, yeah, okay. And I don't even understand how you and Toya got back to be friends. Y'all needed to explain that. Meanwhile, And Toya still mad as heck at Quad. Speaking of Quad, she comes sashaying in with her escortation, and Toya and Anila stomp on out of there right on out. Like they stomp into the 90s right on out of that thing. And Toya's like, hey, I ain't even speak to her. And in my mind, I was like, I don't think Quad cared. And Quad says just as much in the episode. Okay. I really don't think she cared because I don't even think she like it either. So y'all see each other. Okay. Anyway, Dr. Jack is like, well, who invited Quad? As Quad is greeting everybody in the room like she owned the place coming in at towards the end, the last 5 minutes. So Quad tells Sweet Tea, well, girl, go fetch Dr. G for me. Girl, sweet baby, sweetie, go on and fetch your man for me so I can speak to him, so I can give him some sugar. So she run off and go fetch him like a good little. I'm like, girl, I would be like, no, you go. If you want to speak to him, you go find him, girl. You gonna speak to me first? How about that? Okay. So she run and go fetch him, like, like, yeah, let me go get the money. And so anyway, Quad said something so odd to me. She's like asking Sweet Tea, do you mind if I hug his neck a little? Who says that? Who says that? Now, Quad, come on, girl. You mind if I hug his neck a little bit? Girl, you mind if I give him a little sugar? You mind if I rub my cheeks on his cheeks? Like what? Just say, listen, I just want to see if I just want to, hey, girl, listen, I was going to give him a hug. I just want to make sure it's okay. That would have sufficed. But you mind if I, is it a Southern thing? Maybe that's a Southern thing and that's why I don't get it. I don't know. But I'm from the South, so I should get it. But it was just odd to me. Like, who says that? Anyhow, it's really awkward. And Dr. G is looking at her like a snack that he just want to lap up like and sop it up with a biscuit, with a good old smothered pork chop, some nice good old yams and a biscuit and some gravy just dripping all down the mouth and a little bit of apple pie with some vanilla ice cream just dripping wet in it, with add a little chocolate sauce onto it, and then you get your little bottle of sweet tea with all the white sugar up in it and just sipping it and gulping it on down and swallowing it all whole. That's how he was looking at her. So that's why he says to later that how awkward it was for him. And he was like, he tells Sweet Tea he's confused. About what? What you confused about? I mean, it's over. You married to a whole new woman. Why are you confused that she is speaking to you? Like, you confused because you still got some feelings for her? Or you confused? What are you confused about? Why? I mean, you shouldn't be confused that she's wanting to be polite. You should be confused if she said or did something that was inappropriate. That's what you should be. Or were you confused that she asked if she could reach in and hug his neck a little? Was that what you? Because if that was your confusion, then I can understand it. But otherwise, what is there to be confused about? Anyhow, I told y'all when I have to do 2 reviews in one day, I lose it on the second one. So here we are. Anyway, I blame Bravo. So anyway, Dr. Simone, let's not make things any more awkward, says, oh, you look so uncomfortable. Girl, shut up. Anyway, Dr. Jackie runs into Sweet Tea and her sister on the way out. Dr. Jackie says something that I do happen to agree with about Quad. Quad is always going to be around. And the only person that can destroy Quad is Quad. And unfortunately, I do feel like that's the case. So that's the tea on Married to Medicine, season 14, the season finale. Next week, we start the reunion. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions and all that good stuff in the chatterization down below. And with that, I will catch you in the next video.